This is it. No more football until July 21st. But I got you. What is up, fans? Last day of minicamp, last day of any of the camps. This is it. Then we go into a slumber. Well, we don't, because like I said, I have a ton of content for you guys. I have collabs in the work. I have a lot of things that I'm trying to work on. I'm going to try my damnedest to get some players on here. Maybe I'll even live stream the players on here. I don't know. So you guys can also ask them questions. But I'm going to try. I'm going to try my best to keep you guys and girls entertained for the next, it's like 2 months. I think, we find out the training camp dates, I think next Friday-ish or next week-ish. And then we don't really pick up training camp until the end of July. So they didn't do much or much wasn't reported. So we just have Mike McDaniel's presser, but he said some interesting things in there. And he also talked about what Bradley Chubb, I don't know why I couldn't get that out, said about they were lying. So let's jump into this, but real quick, I do have to shout out my man Sean Seipler and his great, one more time, great, can't say great enough, absolutely love what he's doing, Foundation Clean the World. If you don't know what they are, first off, go cleantheworld.org. Second of all, been doing it for 16 years. What he does is he goes to hotels, and you know how you get that like bar soap that you're like, hey, I'm going to take a shower. And then you're like, I'm only staying here a day. And then buy bar soap. It's a waste. Goes to all the hotels, and he's like, let me take your soap. Let me clean it. Got scientists. We're going to repurpose it. We're going to make it look cool. Like that. We're going to put in these kits, and I'm going to give it to people of need, whether it's third world countries, natural disasters, the homeless. He's helping so many people. And then he has the Wash Foundation to get people clean drinking water, to get people water so they can shower. He has shower stations. The man does a lot, and he's a great human being, and I'm happy to call him my friend. So go check him out, cleantheworld.org. So Mike McDaniel, the point of our off-season program was to take action. You can't play any games, but you can make gains in your game. He also said there has been a better bond. And it seems like that is, we keep talking about the culture change and changing this and changing that. And it seems to be something that is being talked about. And it seems to be something that is being out there. And it's funny because you notice that there was a little bit of an exodus of talent, right? Jonnu Smith wants to stay, but he wants to get paid. And the Dolphins are like, we're not paying you. So now, obviously, if you watched earlier today's video, they're allowing him to go seek a trade partner where it was an on and off. Now they're like, just go find someone to trade with. Jalen Ramsey wants out because he probably sees it as, I don't have much time left. I want to win a championship. And he probably butted heads. The other guys were cut, but also wanted to see other things. So the guys that are still on this team, Tyreek Hill, Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, Zach Sealer, Jalen Waddle, Devon Achane, all of these guys, even the guys that were brought in, and Fatu Melifanu and Ashton Davis and, Willie Gay and Jordan Brooks is still here. Like all these guys trust Mike McDaniel, right? And they still have Mike McDaniel's back. And if you notice, I said still have Mike McDaniel's back because he can still lose these guys, right? These are the guys, and this is the team that Mike McDaniel hasn't lost yet because they're still here and they're still talking about essentially the narrative change and the culture change and trying to back Mike McDaniel instead of kind of laughing at him with the whole aspect of him trying to change the culture of the team. For now, I'm telling you, they start losing and things go awry and they're 2-6 again. And Mike McDaniel tries to, be Mr. We got to do better. They'll very easily tell him to kick rocks. So as of right now, he still has the locker room. He still has the backing of the players. They got to win. They got to win. Winning changes everything. I'm telling you. A lot of this offseason was shaped by things we learned last year. Guys were highly motivated to have a different sense of team at this point. We established that what our standards of our team is, and that is a big deal moving forward. I think a lot of it, too, is there's a bad taste in some of the players' mouths that are still here because they saw how 2023 started and then how it ended with all the injuries and how it fell apart. And I think a lot of those guys saw something special, as us Dolphin fans did, and want that back. It's not the same team, though, so we'll see. Talking about the end of practice yesterday, how it was dive for the ball type thing. He said it was a 300-pound slip and slides. If you don't really buy into making gains, incremental gains on technique, you'll be passed by moving forward. So I'm wondering, taking from what he said there, if you don't really buy into making gains, incremental gains on technique, you'll be passed by moving forward. That means if you don't, now this is just me trying to decipher the codex that is Mike McDaniel's lingo, that if you're lagging behind, you're gone. And, Cam Smith is a guy that, there's guys on this team, and I will talk about it when I talk about the camp position battles. There are guys on these teams that need to step it up. Tyndall, Ezukama, Cam Smith, all those guys that we drafted you 3rd, 4th, 2nd round. We need to see 3rd, 4th, 2nd round out of you. He is understanding his role as a leader. He is understanding his tonality in practice, talking about Jalen Waddle. The best player has to aspire to be better. Everyone gets juiced when Waddle is juiced. Maybe Waddle is one of the new guys that is going to take that leadership role, especially in the wide receiving core, where he is kind of the veteran. If you look at the receivers we have now, he is kind of that vet, right? Tyreek, again, great talent, generational talent. I will be surprised if he's here next year. Waddle is the number one guy going forward after Tyreek isn't here. I think he can do it. Some don't. Looking at you, Omar. I'm going to talk to him later tonight. But not even Omar, Alan Pupar, and I think there was someone else that was saying it. Good thing I have a channel with them so I can hash it out. But he needs to take that leadership role because we lost 2 big leaders in Calais Campbell and Teron Armstead. His game is growing. He's going to find ways to exceed each and every year, as he knows to be the standard on Waddle. He is a secure player who is working on his craft. He knows the return will be favorable. The thing with Waddle is he gets nicked up. Now, I wouldn't say he's injury prone because he hasn't missed much games, but he does get nicked up and misses a game or 2, which is going to happen in the NFL. It's a contact sport. But he just needs to work on those. But he's not a big guy. I think he's 5'11". One of the things that was very clear in the defense is that the defense has to figure out how to make us perform in all facets. They showed us that we will have to earn our way out of that. That was him when asked if the offense has been figured out. So I'll read that again. This is him talking about if his offense has been figured out. One of the things that was very clear is that defenses have figured out how to make us perform in all facets. They showed us that we will have to earn our way out of that. You can't be one-dimensional. You can't be so predictable. And we saw that last year when the Texans head coach called out a tight end screen. Like, you can't be so predictable. Can't keep running the same things and expecting something different. Screen. Got to change it up. You got, if you are this guru, this offensive guru who knows how to pull these things together, you have to be able to pull something else instead of constantly throwing different types of screens. And because just watch film. Oh, when they shift this way and this guy moves this way, it's a screen. Counteract it. We preach balance, and the point was proven. You have to make defenses pay if they are going to overplay and leave themselves light in the box. So essentially that's him talking about having a lackluster run game, which 2024 was not great as a run game. Now, this is what he had to say about what Chubb said yesterday about they were lying.
Like, it would have been awesome if you would have told me that, on the front end when they're lying. Beyond that, 2024, unless I'm using it directly for a analogy, I'm much more concerned with 2025. So, I think you do a lot more for the organization if you spend your time thinking forward in terms of how, not this, that, or the other, or whose fault it was. No, we want it like this, and let's do it like this, and this is who we are. And I don't even. What year did you speak of?
2024. Essentially, he's leaving 2024 and 2024. He doesn't care. Don't lie. It was very. He's not a very good way with words, as I just messed up what I wanted to say. Evolution is absolutely imperative in life. Pay attention to it. Growth is good. I have resistance to non-evolution. You're supposed to take from life the lessons you learn. Yeah, I got to get better. While Austin Jackson was watching from the sideline on Wednesday minicamp practice, Coach McDaniel said it's not related to his knee injury from last season, and the right tackle should be fine. Just love hearing that. It just makes you feel all warm inside. When his technique is right, he can be a very violent player, talking about Aaron Brewer. The more confidence he has, the more he's able to be a fixture of leadership, and the better off we are. Yeah, I think if I had to predict the team captains, and I'll probably update this or make a video about it, I think 2 is 1, obviously. I think Aaron Brewer is probably going to be the team captain for the offensive line. I think Sealer will be the team captain for the defensive line. I think Brooks will be the captain. Maybe Cater might be a captain. I think Waddle will be a captain. And I think that's it, if I had to pick, kind of like from all the facets of it. Dolphins coach Mike McDaniel said of Cam Smith, Cam is in a great spot, doing an outstanding job with where we are in the offseason. His key is, how is he going to build on it? Got to make the roster, and he doesn't have a guaranteed spot. That's all I'm saying. And then the last thing he says is, it's way better. It's amazing how this offseason, in particular, being able to spend time with the defensive staff, we were able to utilize each other to make gains. McDaniel on his first defensive coordinator for 2 straight seasons. And I know a lot of the talk is, and I'll talk about this. Weaver is very popular in the Miami Dolphins organization and with the players. And if things do go sideways and the Dolphins do fall apart and they do move on from Mike McDaniel, I will bet so much money that Weaver is the interim head coach. And if he kills it as the interim head coach, I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes the new head coach. But that's down the road. That's like incredibly down the road, because then if that kind of happens, then you would think that Chris Greer stays. And if that happens, I think my head will explode. And there's a lot that's going to happen. But again, they probably didn't do much. That's why there's not any on the field stuff, because it's the last day of minicamp, and they probably did a lot of, film work and a lot of, inside stuff. But that's it. Now, tomorrow I got a video for you. Don't worry. Monday starts my camp position battles. I don't know why my brain's not working today. And I'm going to probably do 2 a week. I have to calculate how many, because I'm doing every position. Quarterback to, I'm not doing punter, because obviously I'm surprised Bailey's still on the team. Doing quarterback all the way to safety, each position, and talking about, who is projected starters, who is competing for a spot on the roster, what I think of the position and a whole, all that stuff. So I think you'll get those twice a week, maybe towards closer to camp. If I'm like, crap, I'm running out of time, you'll get 3 a week. And then I have a ton of other stuff that I want to talk about, training camp preview, pre-training camp rankings. I'll rank the AFC East. I want to do a quarterback ranking. I think that's what I'm going to do, because I notice a lot of people have different rankings for who their top 10 is and where 2 is ranked. And so I think I'm going to do all 32. I think that'll be a video I'm going to do. I have reactions I want to do to some YouTube videos that are out there. I have a video talking about, are the Miami Dolphins actually tanking or not? And then I have videos during training camp before the season starts. So like I said, I don't take off. So you're going to get a lot of content during this next month and a half to 2 months of no football. I might do an all-time Miami Dolphins team. I might do some other things. If you have any suggestions on things you want me to talk about, comment below, DM me, email me, let me know. But I will see you tomorrow with our first non-football content. Like usual, stay classy. And fins up.